Hello, how you guys doing? I hope get my little almost set up here. Um, this is covering a couple of content creators topics on about basically about people marrying and dating and interracial. It is one of those topics that just seem to keep going on, but it's really very interesting. I just wanted to show you that my insight, and I'll get back in one of the main content creators field. So and I got a couple other ones, and I want you to listen to. Now, I'll come back with my own opinion.
A lot of conversation, it's so polarizing, the relationships between white and black people in the area of dating. Both communities, let's call it what it is, both communities really don't like it. Both communities really don't support it as a whole. Some in both communities say, hey, live and let live, do you, but let's call it what it is. It wouldn't be a polarizing conversation, even still in 2024, even in the era of people saying there's 100 different genders. Yes, I know, I've seen somebody say that on a news report, 100 different genders. But yet they are still polarized by this particular relationship. Now, there's a white lady in this video that's going to talk about, some people ask, how can a person, part of the folks community, don't like black people but go lay up with one? How can that happen? Well, this particular white lady is going to kind of touch on some of the signs you can tell they really don't like black people but still laid up with one.
The number one way to tell that a white woman is racist in an interracial relationship with a black man is that she doesn't have not one friend that's a black woman. And I'm not even talking just true friend, like that's obvious too, but I'm talking she probably don't even have a black woman as an acquaintance. She probably doesn't even with the black women she works with. This white woman is very set on specifically only with black men. The next thing that gives this away is the way that they always talk about how they want biracial babies or black babies on the contingency that those black babies have biracial features. And feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but it rubs me, there's something in my throat. It rubs me the wrong way when they specifically talk about, I want biracial babies. Your babies are going to be perceived as black. You need to understand that if you bring biracial babies into the world in America, a lot of, especially racist white people, are going to perceive your babies as black because they're not fully white. So specifically always saying, I want biracial babies, why can't you just say black? Does that make sense? Maybe I'm wrong there. You guys feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's giving something weird, Like your babies are going to be black. They're going to be perceived as black. Why are you grasping on to the little bit of whiteness that they're going to have when that's not how they're going to be perceived? They have racist tendencies towards other races besides just the specific black man they're dating. And the reason why they're dating this specific black man, in my opinion, is this very specific type of black man makes it his whole personality to hate black women. And these white women are so insecure that they feel like they can't compete in their own white community. I don't like the way that sounds, but they can't compete against other white people for anyways, you know what I'm trying to say, I hope. But so they go after these black men to compete with black women, and then they both bond over this weird hatred that they have for black women. That also ties into why they're not friends with black women, which I said in the beginning.
Now, the last thing, in my opinion, got me more than anything when she talked about that they're bonding with these men based on their disdain for black women. Just like they have the female that bond with white men on their disdain for black men. First of all, to me, that's weird. It's weird because why are you discussing people who aren't in the room with you? Why are you bonding on some hatred? That's kind of silly. Now, in the area of the women, she's right. Some of those women can't stand black women, can't stand them. But this is the thing. They have a baby with this black man who got self-hate himself. At least in some of the issues, not all, but some. Have a baby with this woman, and then it's a girl. I've seen so many different stories where their white mothers call them the N-word because they don't like their daughters because they view them as black. Now, she mentioned about, biracial baby. Yeah, because they fetishize that. That's a fetish. So if their child come out looking more black, that's a problem. That's a major problem with people like that. My thing is, if you don't like black people, male or female, why are you laying up with one? But this is the same group of people that was laying up with slaves too during the plantation era, and they didn't like them. They look at them as ways of pleasure or validate them, right? But they don't like them. The slave master used to sell off his own son, his own daughter to another plantation. He used to do that. You would think in your mind, why would you want to sell off your own children? That doesn't make sense. But in the mind of a slave master, it made perfect sense. This is why you see so many. And I remember I interviewed a young lady by the name of Kiara Lawham. Now, Kiara, during that 6 years ago, I interviewed her on our African Diaspora News channel, and her mother disowned her for supporting Colin Kaepernick, and even she said she ended up calling her the N-word. Her own white mother, because her white mother couldn't stand Colin Kaepernick for what he was doing. You know, at the time Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee and all of that, right? The young lady interviewed with us on the platform and just telling that story. And it was something that she couldn't believe that her mother was doing, but her mama basically didn't like black people the whole time, because usually when they have that black daughter, ooh, that's when it comes out of them. It really do. But hopefully, you know, and let's just keep it 100. The majority of black people, male or female, is not laying up with white people. They're not. And a lot of them, if they are dealing with people outside the community, you know, you may see them go to even the passport bros, right? Where they going? Latin America. They're not going to Europe. Where are they going? Asian countries. Some of them are going to African countries, right? They're not going to no European countries like that, the passport bros themselves. So that's really not the choices like that. Some people, I guess, get with them for whatever reason, but to me the culture is too polar opposite. And then how I've always looked at it when it comes to, you know, European people and their history and things like that with us as black people, in particular, those issues are going to come up in that relationship. Like, how would you deal with you as a black man going through some racism, and then you're going to come home and tell your lady about it? How would that really work? And she never experienced racism a day in her life. At least if you got with someone, let's say outside the community, and they dealt with some form of racism, maybe they can relate to it in some way, shape, or form, right? But and then if you go in about the folks, we gotta remember that's still part of her community. Her father is white, right? Her brothers are white. Her uncles are white. Her grandpa are white, right? So you going in on them, she may feel some sort of way about it. Even if she understand why you're doing it, she still may feel a certain kind of way about that. You understand what I'm saying? I've seen stories of black women be with white men, and they go through some racism. They're trying to minimize it and all of that. You remember the famous interview with Dr. Laura, where a black woman was calling about her dude and sitting up there saying his friends saying the N-word all day, and how she minimized and saying what she said on that platform. That's why Dr. Laura lost her show. Just missing that. You know, I always said that I ain't got that kind of time. I don't have that kind of time to be dealing with little issues and problems. No. But do you at the end of the day, that's your business, that's your life. I can't control nothing. I'm not going to control anything. I'm not Dr. Umar. I ain't about to be just featuring that stuff all the time. But the reason why I talked about this today is because this woman here, she's part of their community. You know, and yes, ma'am, you have a community. She's part of their community. And she's telling you what to look out for. And that's why I think sometimes she has more weight to talk about that in the area of her people than maybe what Dr. Umar would be trying to analyze them. Because he's not from their community. Now, he can analyze black people, but he's not from their community. It's just that simple. So, you know, but once again, I want to touch on this once again. The majority of black people are with black people, and that's globally.
Let me ask you a question, Dr. Umar. Are you totally against interracial relationships?
I am totally against it, and I want to make sure you understand why. Mm-hmm. It's not because... Cut it out, Envy. Cut it out, Envy.
Don't do that, Envy.
We have a name for it.
Okay.
The Snow Bunny Crisis.
Okay.
I am against the Snow Bunny Crisis. And I want your white listeners to understand. Because people be trying to say stuff like, He's the black Hitler. I'm not the black Hitler. I am in no way interested in hurting or harming the life of any human. White, Asian, Chinese, I believe in respecting everybody. The reason I'm against interracial marriage, Envy and Charlemagne, is because marriage is an economic contract. It's an economic contract. Most women do not marry down in status. They marry up. And if you don't believe me, show me a rich white woman married to a broke-ass black man. Have you ever seen a rich white woman marry a broke-ass black man? No, you have not, and you never will. Because marriage ain't about love, it's not colorblind, and it is totally economic. So if marriage is an economic unification in a contract, how can we, who don't have enough already, give so much to the white woman and to white people who have already taken too much when we got all these black women out here who will never get married? Only 1 out of every 4 black women in America will ever taste marriage, and half of them who taste marriage will be divorced within 5 years. If you want to save the black family, if you want to save the black family, you have to protect it. And in order to protect it, you have to be against interracial marriage. You can't say, I love the black family, but I don't have a problem with interracial marriage. Interracial marriage is eliminating the black family because it is not providing our women with enough available and able black men to be their husbands.
All right, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Got some juicy stuff to talk about. Oh my gosh, that kind of was great. So if you're brand new to this channel, you see the information on the screen. So it kind of lets you know a little bit about what I am about. I'm definitely about marriage, and while I have been leaning into black love over the last probably 4 or 5 months, I'm not against anyone out there trying to find their person, but I do know most of the people that watch me are of African descent. So let's get started. So how do I feel about this? Well, first of all, I'll be honest, you gotta find love. If you're after love, and to me, love is more of a contract. I mean, if you're looking from a biblical perspective, love is, believe it or not, is more of a contract. It's more of a statement to say, I am willing to do this. It's not really a feeling. A lot of times the feelings that we feel is more like infatuation or connection or something like that. That's generally what a lot of us mistake as love. Love is more of, I'm going to take care of you. I am saying from this moment on, I am going to take care of you. I'm going to be with you. If you don't believe me, just go to Corinthians. I think it's Corinthians 1:13. I mean, I'll put it up on the screen, at least the the particular passage that you guys can go find. It's too long for me to actually show it, but I will probably put that link so you guys can go check that out. Now, saying all of that, that's why I say I'm not against passport bros. I'm not against what people got to do. And I even said, and it's funny, in the very last video, that I actually can see and foresee a split in the African American or generational black community. And again, this split has almost been there since day one, which is very interesting. Because if you really study generational blacks, and a lot of black people have never studied generational blacks, so y'all don't even know about your own history, which is really sad. But right after slavery, the generational black people in this country that were mixed, that what today we would call them mixed, which basically mean, Massa was out there in the slave quarters with the Cubans. All right, so those people actually, believe it or not, had it easier. This is one of the main reasons why we have a color complex. It's not just a color complex in the fact that we're trying to be white. It is the fact that a lot of the light-skinned black people, biracial black people, once they got through slavery, they were literally the masses or the masses' children. They were connected to the lineage. Believe it or not, a lot of those white people took care of their black children. And again, a lot of black folks don't like hearing that, but I'm trying to be real about it, so you guys can kind of understand. So this wasn't that, Massa Stovall gonna come down and make sure that I'm okay. No, it's not like that. But if I, was trying to build a business on the black side of town, okay, then at that point, if the cop police came over to me and was talking to me, if I was literally, the direct descendant, of, Master Stovall, he might be lenient and tell the cop, that's one of mine, leave him alone. So now, you're not having a Ku Klux Klan or anything like that trying to burn my business. Instead, they're going to leave me alone. And a lot of black businesses were never able to get started and other things like that because you would literally have white men that would basically come and they would try to destroy them. And it was like funny because somebody even did something about HBCUs because most HBCUs were actually founded by white people. And a lot of people have a problem with that. Why you got a problem with that? We didn't have no power. Okay? And the reason why they were founded wasn't just because you're trying to educate the Negroes. A lot of them were founded because Master trying to educate his children. And he's trying to do it in a nice political way. So now he's donating $20,000, $30,000 or whatever it was. I mean, back then that was big money to create these Negro schools. And if you look at the history, I went to Tuskegee, my sister went to Hampton. And if you look at the background, Hampton, I mean, those people almost look white. You go back, to the 1900s and you look at their alumni, they almost look white. And if you look at the ones that were back at Tuskegee, all of them had wavy hair. They had wavy hair. They might have been dark skinned, but they had wavy hair. And then you even had things like Native Americans that were hanging out. So you're like, Jay, okay, why are you giving us all this history? Well, here's the whole thing. So even back in the day, they had balls, all right? Quadroon and octoroon balls. And there are even groups now that have kind of kept this legacy alive. This is where you hear the term cotillion, things like that. And so what these things were supposed to do is that when a woman or a man came of age, they would actually, get these people together, and all of these from polite black society were supposed to meet each other from good families that had money. And generally speaking, they were families that were light-skinned. And the whole thing about quadroon or octoroon is basically saying how much white blood you have in your body. I think today I would be considered an octoroon, and my mom was a quadroon. Okay? So that's how that worked. All right? And so at that particular time, right after slavery, a lot of black people were trying to separate themselves based upon how much white blood they had in them. And now we fast forward all the way over 100 years later. And what you see, and like I said, I've even been talking about it a lot on this channel, is you have a lot of what we would consider ghetto black. And a mindset that is right here at the,
That's content creator gonna explain
pushing itself out. And it's okay, this ghetto mindset is okay with bad behavior that will not help it in any way. And one of the things that I find that is very sad is that a lot of people, in that environment, they truly believe that what they're doing is okay. Like, and I think I told you, I dated a lady, and she was doing some things that I told her, I said, if you date me, you can't do those things. And she just really was like, I don't understand why. Why I can't do this? Why I can't do that? And I told her, I said, because they don't bring forth fruit. They don't bring forth fruit in your life. In fact, they actually throw up problems. And see, a lot of ghetto culture, it pushes problems. A lot of people think that they have solutions. They think that this is cool. But it's not really cool because the result of it, if any little thing goes wrong, now you're in a worse situation than you were before.
Yeah.
And see, that's one of the differences between like middle class, upper class, and all this other kind of stuff. And when I'm talking about it here, I'm talking about socioeconomic. What we're dealing with is we're dealing with a culture. But then you have this middle class culture and this upper class. It's very small, actually. Even when you look at the numbers, he even kind of said it, 25% of black women are on the path to get married, while 75% are not. And see, that 20 to 25%, that's generally going to be in your upper classes. Why? Because those upper classes understand the power of marriage. And they understand that in order to really build money, okay, you need someone who is solid by your side. And if you want to do generational wealth, okay, you have to make sure your kids ain't crazy. And the way you know they ain't crazy is you got a whole lot of eyes watching them. Okay, the more people around them that can watch them and speak good into their lives, the more likely, those children are going to come out well. But see, what we all do, as the Bible says, we basically teach our children in the way we think they should go throughout their life. Mm-hmm. If we teach our children to steal, then that child believes it's okay to steal. Mm-hmm. And see, again, like I said, people don't understand. When you teach, and like I said, I did a video on this, when you teach your daughter at 3 and 4 years old to twerk, and you think that that's funny, and that that's cool, and maybe it's a trend, maybe social media is talking about it, and they're doing it. When you do that, you're prioritizing her doing this dance over prioritizing other things that will help her. And that's why I talk about learning her ABCs, learning her 1, 2, 3s, learning how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And yes, there are 5-year-olds that know how to do that. You want to see how people come up with a genius? They talk about a genius child. That means that child has generally mastered something by the age of 5 years old, like playing the piano. All right? And Asian people do this all the time with their children because they understand that the child's mind from 0 to 5 is the most fertile. And so they will teach their child how to play the piano. And then from then on in, the system will take care of that child forever. And by the time that child's 13, they're actually playing the doggone piano for the president. But see, we will teach our children how to twerk. And the president don't want to watch your 13-year-old twerking. Again, are you teaching things that are beneficial? Are you teaching things that hurt? Now, let's get back to, what, Dr. Umar is saying. You have this behavior and it exists in the black community. And then you have another group of people up here that don't agree with this. They don't agree with this at all. And see, that's the part he's not really talking about. He's not talking about the difference in socioeconomic and mental levels of said people. And see, one of the problems that we have is that our media really loves these people down here. And so right now, the biggest argument among black men that are up here, and I'm saying up here, I'm not saying 100% at the top, I'm saying they got maybe a little bit down at the bottom, and then most of it, is going upwards, is that what they're saying is they can't find good quality black women. And then the black women in that group might be saying, well, no, I'm right here. But see, the problem then comes in is, do those black women want those black men? And we talked about that. And then, are those black women willing to let those black men lead them? Because a lot of the black men that are up here have been taught how to be leaders. And they've been taught how to be the husbands of their family and the leader of their family. Where a lot of the guys down here, not all, but a lot of guys down here have never been taught that. So when these women up here date these men down here, they end up with a certain relationship. And that's the relationship that most black women are complaining about, is this one right here. But when black men try to do this, it works a little bit better, but generally black men get frustrated and they kind of give it up. So what happens is you're in a scenario with the black community where it's like I said, you got this down here, and see, I think Dr. Umar, he's trying to protect this. He's trying to protect this. But see, these people don't really want to change. They like who they are, mm-hmm. and they don't see why the world is against them. Mm-hmm. Even though through their own world, the way that they think, it's like it hurts them in every single way. But then the people up here, okay, the people that can't get married, like according to Dr. Umar, half of my friends shouldn't exist. Because most of my friends are married. I tell people that all the time. Most of them are married, happily married, 20 plus years. Okay, so it's plenty of black women getting married. But a black woman has to have the energy of a wife. And a black man has to have the energy of a husband. And that's why I'm always trying to explain to you all what is the difference. Okay? A girlfriend or a boyfriend takes no ownership. in the way that they go through the relationship. A husband and a wife do. In fact, again, I'll give you an example. The last lady that I was dating, literally, said it the other day. She was like, I really like some of the things that you do when it comes to me, because like one of the things she had an issue with was water, right? So, because she actually, believe it or not, had gotten dehydrated and had to, got sick because she was dehydrated. So once I found that out, every single time I talk to her, I'll be like, okay, have you drank your water for today? Have you drank your water for today? How many bottles of water have you drank? And it was like, and I'll be like, if she hadn't drank, at least 2 bottles of water by the time, it was noon, she was gonna hit my mouth about it. And at first, she was a little bit frustrated about that, but then over time, and like I say, in this particular conversation that I'm talking about, she actually thanked me. She was like, I'm really thankful that, you actually care about my health. And she was like, most guys don't do that. They don't care about that. And see, that's what I'm talking about. See, when I walk, I always walk with husband energy. I always walk with ownership. If she's going to be with me, then her body is important. Her body's health is important. Every single part of her car, what it's going through, any type of movement she's doing, whether or not she's moving into a house, or she's in a house, or if she's moving into an apartment, or if she is, changing jobs, all those things I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about her credit score. I'm just being real. Because when you have a husband mindset, you're always thinking that way. And when you have a wife mindset, you're always thinking that way. And that's why people say, Jay, how can you tell? How can you tell? That's how you tell. Does the person take ownership? Or are they leaning back saying, take care of me, I'm here for fun? They never mention the types of conversations that you would have if you're married. And what I've learned is when a woman is walking in wife energy, she loves that. She absolutely loves that. The fact that I come in like that. But when a woman walks in girlfriend energy, she hates it. It's annoying. It's like, why?
I'm gonna stop it right there, and I'm gonna show you what he's talking about on Jeremy Hill's video.
Look in the mirror, ooh, man, you're so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately, it's you.
Welcome to the Jeremy Hill Show. If you're easily triggered, leave now, because this is not the show for you. Now let me get right into it. Modern women, black women in particular, my most humble opinion. To me, y'all make some bad decisions. What do I mean? We hear a whole lot about women of my community who say they want to divest, want to go to another man of a different ethnic group, and by all means you can. I'm not against interracial relationships, and I am not a racist whatsoever. I want everybody to get along, but dig this before you dig that. Some of these men, white gentlemen that you say are so much better than the black gentlemen, they don't really care too much for you. And I'm going to show you what I mean. A lot of these particular, not all white gentlemen think like this, but there's a group of white gentlemen that does. They want you to be deleted by the police. They love and they applaud when you get in trouble with the police. They love that you're struggling, and they love that you continuously destroy the black community's image by your ratchet, reckless behavior. Now let me go ahead and put this up on the screen. We're gonna get deep into this. Hold on one second, y'all. Give me a moment. I want you to pay attention to what this young lady about to tell you.
Hey, so this is for all you delusional black women who are running with this whole black wife effect situation. This is how they really feel. This is how Edom really feels about you. They're saying that their new favorite videos are watching black women get pulled over and escalating the situation to where they get arrested.
Before she go any further, let me say this. If you follow my content, if you look at my catalog, if you have to, if you have to go to my videos, you'll see many videos that I made where many black women get arrested by the police, who get into altercations with the police, and it could have been de-escalated, but the black woman's mouth, or disrespect, or rudeness, or refusal to obey commands, get her locked up, and then when she get locked up, she blame the police, she blame everybody else for not helping her. These are the type of video that she's speaking of. So let me go ahead and let her talk, let her cook.
Really feels about you. They're saying that their new favorite videos are watching black women get pulled over and escalating the situation to where they get arrested. Basically, they want the cops to kill us just like they kill our men. This is what Edom is saying. Edom, white people. This is what they're saying about us black women. But you women have this complex thinking that these white men love you so much and they're your saviors. And, you know, let's leave our men and go to the white man with this master complex y'all have. Them people don't give a damn about us. There's more. Oh, that's not all. Here's the responses to that original tweet. Look at this. My new favorites are when they just seem to bend over and start twerking for no apparent reason. So,
do you see this now? This woman is reading tweets, all right? She's reading tweets that are coming from white gentlemen. And they mocking you. They are ridiculing you. The things that you get so upset about when a black man tells you that this is an inappropriate behavior, that we don't like the fact that you pop up on furniture and start twerking out of nowhere, that people can't go to restaurants without certain type of women to start twerking and popping coochie up there when there's other families there, when there are children there, when you like to misbehave and yell and scream and talk loud and smell like, green, smell like herb and all this stuff like that. We tell you the same things, and you say we hating on you. You say we trying to be controlling. You say that we don't want to let you be who you are. All those things. You say I'm gonna run to Chad. I'm gonna leave Mokeen. I'm gonna leave Kevin. I'm gonna go to Chad and Tom and all this other stuff you want to say. You want to cross over and divest. But here it is, they saying the same things about you, but they're not telling you in order for you to correct your behavior, in order for you to get a better class, to become more classy. They're not telling you this because they want you to know that they disapprove of your ghetto decorum. They saying these things because they love it. They love how you drag yourself down. They love it when you make yourself look bad. They love it when you don't have respect for self. They love it when you dress so provocative and half naked that you don't respect your temple. They love the way you mistreat black men. They love the way you put them down. They love the way that you have multiple baby daddies and that you're a baby mama. They love it that you struggle. They love it when you put on those fake eyelashes. They love it when you put on pink wigs, purple wigs, blue wigs, green wigs, making yourself look like the bozo the clown. They love that stuff. But when we tell you about it, you have an issue about it. You say we're controlling. We're not controlling you. You're controlling yourself. Now let's keep going.
when they just seem to bend over and start twerking for no apparent reason. So weird to me. And it's weird to me too as a black woman. I don't understand why you bitches always gotta bend over and show your ass. I just don't understand it. Here's another one. They're all trained from the same playbook. This is what Edom really thinks about you. They don't love you. It's like they all have been programmed the same way. Like, come on. You can't make this up. And last but not least, for all you black women who think these men really give a fuck about you, that's the thing. Seemingly, there's no shame in that community. The more wrong they do, the more infuriated they become with the outcome.
Now, I want you to hear this now. This is what these white particular people are saying about you. I am not a racist, and I'm not talking about the race. These are these white gentlemen who are saying that. They're saying the same exact thing, that our women in the black community do not have shame. They love to be shameful. They love shameful behavior. I want you to understand, black woman, you need to understand, in my most humble opinion, the entire world is watching you. The entire world is listening to you. The entire world is studying you, observing you, trying to see what they can do to keep you falling down. They don't have to do anything to us because you're doing it to us. They don't have to harm us because you're causing all the harm. You're doing it. And these are the people that you try to big up. These are the people that you try to say better than your own men. And these are the same exact people who are talking down on you, laughing on you, and will never marry you. They will only sleep with you. They only see sleeping with women of our color as kinks and fetishes. That's it, man. Just like on the Ghetto Gaggers, and I did a show about that. And I greatly encourage any new subscriber to go look up that video I made about a woman who was on the Ghetto Gaggers and see how she was mistreated. Not mistreated, she wanted to be treated that way. For money, for less than $1,000 or less than $1,500. Now I want you to take a look at that. Now think about what this lady here is saying, man. Skip.
So, the more infuriated they become with the outcome. It's like whacking at a hive of bees. They have no ability to reason, so they just get angrier and angrier. They are comparing us to a pack of bees who have no comprehension of reasoning, just getting mad. The next one, I challenge anyone to watch 10 videos of nasty, loud, condescending black women getting arrested and not walk away a racist. It's impossible. They are not the same as us. And actually, we're not the same as them. We're chosen people. The Most High's chosen people. We're not even supposed to be mixing our royal blood with them. But continue. It says, let's make a week of it. Call it Shaniqua Week. But the black wife effect, right? They love us, right? And y'all sitting over here dumbfounded with this stupid shit. Get back to who you are. You are a chosen people. You are a peculiar people of the Most High. We are not supposed to be mixing our royal blood with them people. Them people do not give a fuck about us. Black women, wake the fuck up.
At Audio Advice, we are known for our expertise in designing and installing custom home theaters and selling best-in-class home theater equipment to do-it-yourselfers nationwide. While most of our reviews...
A few days ago, a particular young man, I want to say a few weeks ago, went viral. A young brother by the name of Vonnie B. He is from Ohio, moved to Atlanta, and you can see on his Twitter page, he has some interesting things up there. Promethazine with codeine, oral solution. It's called lean. Okay. It's a recreational drug concoction made with cough syrup. All right. So this young brother is letting you know what time it is on his Twitter post. Okay. Not gonna judge the brother. People do what they do. God bless him. Okay. Now, as you can see, he got arrested on May 12th. Okay. This was his mugshot. Ladies believe he was a very handsome young man, and so it got 16.9 million views on the internet. So this is a guy that was arrested, okay? He also doubled, I believe, as a rapper. If we can look at some of the B-roll here, that is a young man there. You know, he's promoting his stuff. It seems like he was on his way up. Seemed like he was basically, doing his thing. He had a booty clappers challenge to his music, which we cannot play that, but it was very interesting on his Instagram. He had a lot of chicks that were booty clapping it up. Okay, but from what I've heard about this young man, the young man has been killed. Okay, I don't know if he was killed by the police. I don't know if he was shot in a robbery gone bad. I don't really research those things so as much as I should. The bottom line is the young man has passed away. Okay, the young man has passed away. According to his own brother, I looked at the story. His brother is saying things like, I will never let them forget you. So his brother has the Instagram. So your young man got cut short and was not able to live out his dreams. And it appears he was on his way. But if I may, I would like to talk about what I believe the young man was promoting as a lifestyle. Seems like the young man was, trying to make it. I don't know if some of that was for show, but it could have easily been taken aback that this is a young man possibly doing some things that could not be legal. I'm not sure. Right? He got arrested. I don't know what that was for, which is nothing my business, because it's not about him. He's not here to defend himself. Okay? The question is the ladies there that were like bigging him up, like, oh my God, I want to bail him out. I want to do this. Let's read some of the comments here. I got bail. Who I can get a contact with? Free you. You didn't do it. Where you at? Damn, he didn't mean it wherever he was. Let me hit that damn. Okay, great. Again, right? The young man was doing this thing. Like I said, I probably would have listened to some of his music. Hey, shout out to the guy. But let me just say this. The whole Cobb County looking for you on Facebook. Need that. The best mugshot ever. Damn. All right? Open the cell. Let that boy out of jail. So, what I want to know is, after someone in this situation is, not the guy you want him to be, what do you start doing? I'll tell you what ladies start doing in the black community. They start throwing it in your face. They literally start throwing it in your face. That's why you a jailbird. That's why you ain't got nothing. That's why you don't have this and that. I literally seen so many black men who have, got their life on the right track. They've had some problems before, and they're living with a woman is doing better than them and all of that. And then as soon as things are not going their way, they're reminding the guy of how terrible he is and how they're going to put the guy out. So on one hand, you like what the guy looks like, but then when things go bad, this is what you're doing. You're throwing it in his face. And how many black men do I see that happening to? And the reality is this is a control mechanism that y'all want to do. Like, you want to bail the guy out because obviously, he looks great and he's all of this, so that you can control him. And that's exactly what happens. Okay? That's exactly what happens. A lot of men who are actually controlled by ladies, many times are guys who have been to the pen. You see? Because they don't have, a lot of times, the financial wherewithal when they get out. They need a place to stay. They need, to get back on their feet and things like that. And so then the women start doing things like, let me go through your phone, where you been. It's basically like living in a hellhole, but what are some of these guys going to do? And they threaten them. If you don't do what I'm asking you to do, I'm going to put you out in the middle of the street. Okay? Or they want to start talking about then when they make a decision to deal with a man that come out of, they have a troubled past, and let's say, for example, the young man starts getting back into that life, what do? They start not only blaming the brother, but they start blaming black men in general. Oh, you black men are this. Oh, you black men are that. And of course, we don't know about this young man. It appears that his life has got cut short. But one thing I will say in his defense, didn't mean that he wasn't going to change. There's a lot of things that I was doing at 22, hell, at 32, hell, at 37. Okay? Responding to situations in a manner that I won't do now at 43. Okay? We would never know because his life, unfortunately, was cut short. But again, what they want to do is, a lot of ladies look at a black man who's not necessarily on the level he needs to be right now, then start offering criticism to the whole black man. Let me tell you ladies something. If you end up getting with a man that is going to be unlikely unfaithful to you, he mistreats you, and you accept him for wherever you think he's at right now, and you think that you're special to change him, good luck. You get all that you get. Don't come and blame all black men, because one thing that I'm not going to do, if I decide to go deal with a chick, she has tendencies of showing that she's in the 304 lane, okay? And I used to do that. Oh, you see all these chicks out here is doing X, Y, and Z. No, there's something also wrong with my choice. And I have to always come back to that. Well, why was I doing with her? Man, she's trash, but I sure did help my case. I knew that she wasn't about nothing, but she had a fat ass. So she got a fat butt, it's jiggly. She got some big boobies, they jiggly. And so that's what I was looking at. And you know what? That's exactly what I got. Oh, don't get me wrong, it was nice clapping the cheeks. I definitely clapped them up. But hey, outside of that, the woman didn't have much to offer. Now I'm mad because she didn't have much to offer. So what I thought was I could change her. That's what I thought. I'm gonna be real. There's so many ladies I had to deal with. I had one chick in particular, man. I'm talking about the cheeks, bro. Oh my God. I still can't believe I blocked her, man. But she was so bad. If you were to see these chicks, like if she was walking down the street somewhere in America, dog, a dude would marry her based on anything. She could be on drugs, and she's just so stupid thick. Okay? Just stupid thick. Now, the reality was that the lady was so terrible, okay, that I thought I could change lady because she had cheeks. I'm thinking about, you know what? She could be around me, but every time I got those cheeks, I was so happy. I was happy as hell, man. I was excited. I was ecstatic, but the girl was dumb, man. And wanna know who was the dumbest person? It was me. I'm trying to change somebody who just don't got what it takes. That's my fault. And when you deal with somebody, I'm not talking about this brother particular, because the brother, like I said, I don't know very much about him, but he was arrested.
Play a little bit of this video.
When you tell me you love me, if I don't respond, what happens?
Don't come home.
But if I text you or I call you and I say I love you and you say okay,
I don't say okay.
Sometimes you don't respond.
Well, if I'm in an appointment,
I'm supposed to stop my appointment, walk out the room and say,
no, it's not that. It's not that. Because I feel like I know
it's possible, right?
No.
It's no different than the apology. It's no different than the apology thing. It's that you don't feel like you're wrong for having not to respond to me, but if I don't respond to you, then immediately I'm wrong for not responding to you. It's no difference in if you're going to apologize to me or not, because here's what happens when the apology happens on your time. It makes all men feel like they just want to move forward. They're not really apologizing. They're just saying, I'm sorry so we can move on.
That hyper-independence, hyper-masculinity, especially with black women, is a trauma response. We don't feel safe. So when we don't feel safe, or we don't feel like you can handle anything, or we don't feel like you can be assertive, or you can be ambitious, or you can go out there and do what you need to do for our family, then somebody has to, and I gotta do it for me and my child, right? So it's really a trauma response. Nobody wants to be this like aggressive, confrontational, like who wants to be like that?
I keep telling black women that to raise a child, they say, well, I provided with food, clothing, and shelter. That's not raising a child, that's maintaining one. To raise a child, you need a parental coalition of a man and a woman. We have sons who, by not having a father in the home, they don't know how to respect women. They take on the black feminine female emotionalism. They're doubtful, they're indecisive, they can't make a decision. They don't know what to do about being a man, because we can't teach them that. We don't have that knowledge. We have daughters who grew up in a home where they don't see any affection, where there's no man there. They go out into the world and try to mate. They don't have no idea how to be no woman to no man, how to function in a house with a man, because they haven't seen it. Most of our children, just like us, get all the information we have about how you be with a mate off television. It's the only medium that shows us anybody being together. Those rules have not worked for us. The white woman's liberation movement, we don't have anything to do with that. We have not been under the control of the black man for over 500 years, so what do we have to get liberated from them from? They haven't been our boss. That's the white woman and her man. They're going through that, and that's their business. We don't have any business being in that. They only introduced it to break down the civil rights movement. Civil rights movement started with the black man, the black woman, and the black child standing together, trying to plead for freedom, justice, and equality, and more benefits in the country that they had built. They threw the white woman in there with the women's liberation movement and made it a woman against man thing. That created a big separation between black men and black women, because then everybody started going for self. Then they bring the welfare system in and tell us in order to feed and clothe and house our children, we have to give up our man. You have to put the man out of the house. When the white farm wife goes to the government for subsidy for the farm, they don't tell her to get rid of the farmer, they keep that family together. But in the black community, they make it a requirement, because they want to keep endorsing into the black community that the black man is no good, and that he is not deserving of respect, he is not deserving of us letting him give us any protection or instruction, and that we are better than them. The major responsibility that the black woman has had on the earth for the trillions of years that we have been here has been one of nutrition and birthing children. Those two things have a great deal to do with the survival of any people, the reproduction of the nation, and feeding them the proper food so that they can live. Those are very important jobs. Those are very powerful positions, because it puts us in a position to decide who's going to live or die, and how slow they're going to die by what we feed them. We have a very powerful position. That's not a small role that we play. We have just been taught to misrepresent and misuse that power. The people who we have been counting on to give us the truth about how to get along have failed. The white people don't know how to get along. They don't have that information themselves. They don't get along with nobody on earth. So they have no information to impart to us about how we're supposed to get along. They change their relationship rules at will. We have, tons of black children around this country that I hear from who have grown up traumatized by the fact that they were referred to as the outside child. When we were having children like that, they called it illegitimate children, until the white woman started having them, and that's single parenting. They changed the rules according to what they're doing. So I've called on our people to change them depending on what we want to do.
During a lengthy courtship, she is available and willing to try anything the black man suggests. She is thoughtful in sending him cards or little love notes, taking time to do special little favors for him. His favorite meal, his favorite color, his favorite treatment, expressed using her favorite plot. Her flexibility and happy behavior turns out to be a gross misrepresentation of how she really is. After the point when she feels confident she has the man, she starts to take a kind of inventory. She memorized and categorized all of her man's little idiosyncrasies that she plans to change. She believes she will be able to change the black man by subtle prodding and sweet requests. Sometimes these changes are monumental rearrangements of his personality that he has had all of his life. Nevertheless, she thinks that she can change him, and she does not doubt that she is the one to change him. The black man knows nothing about this plan and believes that she accepts him as he is, just as he has accepted her. It may take quite a while for the initial passionate attraction to subside, and this all fun-filled time of dating, dinners, travel, calls, and uninhibited sexual play. The black man thinks that her attention and interest will last indefinitely. The black woman knows that they will not. She wanes him slowly using excuses and justifiable sounding explanations. When the black woman becomes busy with normal life activities, the first thing she gives up, eliminates, or sacrifices is loving attention to the black man. She believes that after she gets him, he is expendable and adult and should understand when she has more pressing things to do. If anything has to be squeezed in, it is him. If anything has to be squeezed out, it is also him. Instead of his care being paramount, it becomes something the black woman does on the run. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
I want to finish up that channel, and I want to chime on in. That's Joseph on his channel. Yeah, I dedicate. So if you're a black man and black woman that come across my channel, a subscriber, this is the problem. Sound like basically it's communication problem. The reality, that's why, and for the black men and black women that don't like seeing the men and women go the other way when it comes to interracial relationships, is a communication problem. And if black men and black women don't have a proper communication problem, the rest of them is going to kind of weed out and go a separate way. And I think it's just, basically the women keep pushing that we ain't crap and we ain't this, and men just saying, well, you doing this and you doing that. It put a wedge in between. And so for the black men and black women, like, what's going on? Why? Now you see the answer. Now you get to play the scenarios, the videos, explains the answer. And the first video is kind of eye-opener. What the woman said on Phil's channel, that's very true. And you have to hear from the mouth. Doesn't mean that all white people, I don't know, but that seemed to be a topic. Most black people gonna stick with black people, and when it comes to white people, most white people gonna stick with white people because of these little scenarios that they do. And it's a culture communication factor. And even though some people say we all God's children, yes, but as long as you're in the land, and this is to my outside people outside America, race will always matter in a country like America. No matter how many nationalities that we have in this country, you made to stay separate. And you see the inner battle goes between. And I was reading how other countries, certain countries in other parts of the globe, and it was a handful of them that people can live among peace with one another and enjoy one another and not have to go through stipulations. But America has a spirit. United States has a spirit of racism. Even though we're patriotic and we come together doing sports, music, and things like that, but it seemed like there's a segment of us, and it's probably the places in the world that we always seen that when it comes to this issue, color, a complexion on a person's skin, make up their features matter. For some reason, they can't get it out there. They can't, and it's a spirit that's over this land that you know it stretched back to almost to the 1700s between black and white. Now this is to my people who are not black and white, who are probably from different parts of the world, or it's just you in the land. That's what it is. And even though you see black and white people together, in certain cases, some are literally related to each other, they're literally family, but this society, it pushes the gap. And even though we work around, live among each other, work along each other, go back history, but it's the mindset that America always had, that we don't want to talk about this. You can see us on the same sports team, you can see us on the same music, we could be in the same store, we could work alongside each other, but it's just something deep rooted. And I think when it comes to anybody outside the United States, or anybody's non-black, or maybe looks similar to black or white, you don't understand why do Americans are like this. Why are Americans? Because it's in our DNA. If you look at our history, that's why we can't get over the past. And that's what causes division among us. This is for people who don't understand this topic. And so, black people and some white people say maybe we should just kind of stay to each other due to the history of our due to our past. Yeah, we all God's children, but you know how Sunday is. Majority of the time is the way we praise, where we worship, is in our black churches. In some churches, it's mostly white churches, but there are a mixture of churches. But it's always who's the headship and who's the pastor. And that's something on a spiritual level. Then, there's other avenues as far as it's always compete. It's always with some people it's insecurity, inferiority, and it's just about it. Even though America's collapsing and we've been invaded from all different parts of the world, has literally came through the southern border, we still think about black and white. I can't figure it out myself, but these people don't understand that coming to America, when it comes to black and white people and other people, we're trained this way. When you stepped on this land, yeah, we fight together in the same uniform, but look what happened. We came back from the wars. We were segregated, separated. It is not till 1946 that they integrated the army. That tells you a lot. But there's always been segregation up until 1940, 1950. Then they integrate the Army, the Air Force, the Marines, and then you still hear stories that the integration didn't go well because you still got this division. Even when and people can tell you, but I don't want to go towards that category. But black men, black women, this is your problem. Lack of communication. And that's basically what it is. So that's why I was just explaining to my people on the outskirts. Why is always you black and white always have this problem? That's why. We have a spirit of it that even come into the black community and divide us up. And that's why we have this disdain. And maybe that's why some black people feel that maybe we need to emotionally connect and emotionally heal and figure out what is the problem, what keeps us divided. Is this opposing person who's the opposite of our culture? Is this the part? Maybe, and that's why some people, and other cultures do this. Other cultures come in and they stay together. But for some reason, people, the black person, we being prejudiced. No, they're already doing this, and it's because they feel comfortable because the people speak their own language. majority of people stay to their own culture in America. And black people are basically saying the same thing. We need to stay and figure out and heal and get down to the nitty gritty. What's going on with us and why we act out this way? And then it's a segment of black people that don't want to let that go. And it's frustrating to other black people to want to say, no, it's time to change the image. Because this is what's causing division and with men and women. So it all comes back to us. And I think where you line this with yourself is who your faith is in. But it seems like I think it's a spiritual confusion because we got so many faiths to so many different gods. But we don't want to give it to the right God. So this is the reason why we're off balance. We were chosen as the people, but at the same time, some of the people that look like us is spiritually going in 15 different directions. That's affecting the family, that's affecting the community, that's affecting different ways of life. So and the only way you're gonna find out is the Most High. Those who believe in the Most High is going to point this out. Can it turn around? There are some black people turning around to understand clearly what this is, but trying to get the other half to think that they're saying, no, we, pardon expression, no, we niggas, that's what we supposed to do. When they talk in that low vibration of kind of discussion, even though we're talking and we're communicating to each other, the other people take notice that you're bringing that your mind and the way you communicate ain't at a level, even though you're trying to be separate and mix in with the culture. So they try to feel it, and since it's put into the comedy and to rap, that's what it comes down to. It takes fold and it acts out in different ways, and it's in the music and it's in among our women. So that's where the other cultures think. This way they view us, and so that's why we probably get that pushback, and then they promote it in different parts of the world until some black people from America who go someplace and say, no, I don't act like that, and they're kind of shocked and surprised because TV has programmed the black man and the black woman. So this is the reason why there's a problem. That's what basically he was saying, the guy in the second video. We still are looked at as inanimate objects to mainstream America. These amusing people. They kind of lighten up the day. Oh, they're about to do something crazy. Hey, that's what they call themselves. They call themselves niggas. They must be. Hey, that's what they are. And when you say that, they project that. Well, what you trying to? What you sound? Hey, you call yourself that guy? You are what you say, and so you perpetuate the stereotype, and it's embarrassing when you see it online and in certain cases, and you see people carry. And people trying to get away, and it's a segment of brothers and sisters are trying to get away from that, but you got the segment that want to bring along with it, and they don't know how to cut it off, whatever. And so they think that that's what that black culture is about, bringing that part of dysfunction, in which it's not. So, but you got a part of black culture among men and women because they figure that they come from poverty. That the poverty is related to the behavior. That's part, and we get into it, and it's dictated through the music video, and way someone dictated in what they call buffoonery, TV and shows. And so that's what it is. So that's why the world and some among us trying to separate because you got some people that just, hey, and excuse that expression I said earlier, but that's what it is. You hear it online and the way to communicate. And it may sound, but we're not aware that there's other people listening. And so they form their opinions, and then they think that, well, these people are on low vibration. and they put us all in the same category. So that's why there's a certain level, even though we can show that we can sing, we can do certain things in sports and everything like that, but the main people are still controlling it, and you got it dummified. That makes you ever notice that? You know, I noticed it even doing the artists that who are rappers and stuff. Do you know that there's white people are controlling, telling your story? A white man over in England that likes to rap, but you know more about the hoods in Chicago, the street, than someone who's from the street. You got white people getting rich off of it. You know, you got white people that come into the hood, it's explosive, debauchery, and they getting rich. No one should be getting rich, even though the black people that are doing it, because it's not a good behavior. But even though, and so that influence has tried to go over other places, and some places don't want that influence because what it's shown on TV. Or you know, especially you want to go to the continent of Africa. Man, we gotta be nigs over here. No, we don't want to be nigs in Africa. That's the last place we want to be nigs. But you got a segment of black people that because someone black and someone look like them or look similar to their hood, we all must be nigs. You speak of what you say, and people take notice. When it comes to the American blacks, and this is where one of the ones that lead in this. And so there's a segment of us that don't want to be viewed like this. Then then that's considered uppity. Go figure. Anyway, yeah, but it comes back to that communication. And there's a segment that don't want to be. You try not to run into that segment that you want to understand what the purpose of a black woman is. And it's hard to find a black woman who understands that. And it's probably hard for a black woman to find a black man to understand that. So that's what the frustration, why some people stay single and they're going to be single till they go and be with the Lord, because it's ego, pride, and everything else. That's what it is among black men and black women. That's the only thing that can say it. And some people are mentally, emotionally not willing to compromise and work and get along, like the days of our grandparents. People are set in their ways. That's it, and that's men and women like that. So there's your. So I don't want to make this too long, but yeah, that's your problem. Why we're not together? Well, just broke it down. It's the behavior that we see among each other. It's the connection, trying to find the right ones to be on board and build something together and do something. It's the mutual attraction. It's a lot of factors. So that's why black men and black women go and find something it's mutually attracted to. That's what it is. And so they say, well, we can build together. And you gotta find like-minded black people who don't want to have this animosity, the jealousy, and so that's one of the things too. And this can both be men and women. So that's why some black people, because of what the behavior, where in your city or town where you're from, it was carried on in your neighborhood, or sometimes it was carried on in your household. You know that there's some crazy people and that you try to get them on board about building and selecting, and they just want to clown and show off. They want to show when they get some money, they don't use the intelligence to just say, hey, you know, let's do like some people. We don't have to flash it like that, because you know there's some low vibrational people are envious and jealousy, and they're robbing your house, and they might really take you out and put you in the upper room, as they say. So you have to be careful among some of your own people as well as the racist people that want to take you out. It's the truth. So when you get wealth or get prosperity, don't tell nobody. You know you got some people, and you black, and you got some crazy folks in the family. Don't tell nobody. Keep between you and God, because we know we got some people, and they don't want none to be bothered with you. But let you get hold of some money, let you get hold of something, they be all up on you. And I'm gonna tell you one thing: if you got an alcohol habit, a weed habit, and a cannabis habit, a gimp habit, and you party, you will never have no problem. You have people coming over, insane people, they won't be bothered with you. So it's a lot of segments in that too. Some people don't want to, they want to keep rehashing the past. A lot of times we don't move because we allow the past to dictate what we do in the present. That's why we can't move. Some of us can't move ahead. But some of us want to move ahead, and then the ones that want to move, it goes back to the past, like the slave plantation. No, let's stay on the plantation. No, let's leave the plantation because we're going through all this trauma and everything, and it's the same mentality. That's why it's a spirit that's over America. That the white man said we can't go. What you going with the white people for? Well, we need to stay here because I want something better. You trying to be like the white? No, I want something better. This is what we go through, and we say these things that tear each other down, and especially when someone's just trying to climb out the hole. And that's the truth. So that's what it comes down to. But yeah, that's what it comes down to. That's why we can't come together. Because sometimes some of us want to come together, but you got to figure out who can we cooperate and be like-minded. And sometimes you have to do it in small groups. But as long as you have this tribal mentality against one another, there's going to be a division. And the ones understand that. But I think in order to succeed, it's going to be improving small segments. Is it possible? Yeah, but it's not going to be at a grander valley because it's already been set in. But anyway, that's all I want to make of this video. I hope this was interesting. So black men, black women, I guess you got to figure out how to work this thing out and learn to communicate better. That's the only way you're going to stand together as a people for your children. If not, others going to come in and take advantage of you and go explore you and make you like a circus. Till we understand that, it's going to keep going on. Alright then, take care, be blessed, and see you on the next video.